Retro Gaming Spotlight.
Hey everyone, welcome to another Retro Gaming Spotlight. Today we're going to be taking a look at a classic racer from the PlayStation 1. And we're going to be taking a look at a way that you can play this on your PC now in an updated version. Let's check it out.
3, 2.
Alright, and this is Wipeout, a futuristic racing sim that was first released for the PlayStation in 1995. Now, it was also released on PC, and about a year later came out on the Sega Saturn. It was also a launch title for the PlayStation in Europe. Now, this game has had multiple sequels throughout the year. The original has been made available for subsequent PlayStations, PlayStation 3, PlayStation Portable. It was available on the PlayStation Network in 2005. And even now, you can download the Omega Collection on the current PlayStations, which has remastered versions of Wipeout HD, Wipeout Fury, and Wipeout 2048 on it. So needless to say, Wipeout has always been a very, very popular racer for the PlayStation. Well, again, like I said, there are multiple ways that you can play this right now, but there's a brand new way you can play this on PC. That is, if you have access to the original PlayStation ROMs. Let's go ahead and check that out. Alright, so what you're looking at here is Wipeout Phantom Edition. This is a fan-made mod available on PC for the original Wipeout. Now what this does is this actually uses the original PlayStation source code. So as I said, you would actually need to have access to the original US PlayStation ROMs for the game Wipeout. It upgrades the visuals to HD. It adds some different lighting effects to it. It also cuts down on, or actually I should say it increases draw distance in order to cut down on pop-ins and different things like that. There are some additional options available for this, but really what it does is it takes the original Wipeout and just modernizes it, makes it look more in line with some of the HD remakes that came out years later, many of which were never available for PC. So if you are a fan of Wipeout, this is definitely something to look into. Alright, there you go. That is a quick look at Wipeout Phantom Edition, an upgraded version of the game Wipeout that originally came out for PlayStation that you can now play on your PC. So what I want to do now is I want to take a minute and I want to show you how you can get access to this and how you can play it. Check this out. So Wipeout Phantom Edition is available through GitHub. I'm going to have a link in the description below on how you can get to this particular page and get access to it. But let's just take a minute and let's run through some of the features that come with this version of the game. Alright, so in terms of graphics, you're going to have things like an uncapped frame rate. You're going to have high resolution rendering. You're going to have distant geometry fade, which is going to eliminate things like pop-ins. You're going to have ship lighting, which is similar to something they did in Wipeout 2 and 3. An increased view distance, configurable aspect ratios, and widescreen support. If you saw me playing it, you noticed that the version was available in widescreen, whereas the original PlayStation was in a 4:3 mode. You'll have an optional lo-fi resolution mode as well, and they maintain the PSX accurate rasterization and blending. Now in terms of gameplay, you have access to both keyboard and gamepad input support, wall collision response, modern, classic, and legacy, so I guess you have some different options there on what happens when you hit the walls. Wall scrape, particle effects, and visual and audio enhancements in modern and classic wall collision modes. And in terms of audio, there is new music and sound effects and 3D audio effects. Now, when I was playing, I did turn the music down because I didn't want to have copyright strikes based on the music playing in the background, but when you play the game, you will have full music. Now in terms of UI changes, there is additional options menus so that you can configure all these other features that I talked about. And of course, there's a way to configure both your keyboard and gamepad for how you're playing it. There is a new config file system for this, automatic game data extraction. So there's a bunch of things that go on here in terms of technical aspects as well. Now here is where you would actually go to download the latest release. Now, one thing you will note here that it does say to put your PlayStation USA region bin and queue files in the wipeout/disk images file and then launch the game. So you will need to have the original ROMs from the PlayStation in order to play that, and you will put them in the Wipeout/disk images. Now, just to show you, this is what you're going to be looking for. You're going to be looking for these files here: Wipeout USA track 1 through track 9.bin and the Wipeout USA.q. So if you have these files, you will be able to play this game. If you don't, then you're not going to be able to do this. Now, this video is obviously for educational purposes only, and I am not going to tell you where you can get access to these ROMs, but I'm sure if you're a little savvy in these kind of things, you can figure out where you can have them, or maybe you have them already. Maybe you have an original Wipeout on PlayStation, and you've been able to extract the bin and Q files from it, and you could do it that way. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to just click here, and this is going to bring us to the page where we can download the latest release. Now, this is what you want right here, the Wipeout x86 release.zip. Now, technically, you could download the source code if you wanted to check it out and play around with it if you are savvy with that kind of stuff. But if you're just looking to get the exe version of this to play, this is what you want right here. And clicking on that is going to start my download. So the zip file is not particularly large. Once you download it and get into it, you will see that there is a folder in here called Wipeout. All you want to do is extract this someplace on your hard drive where you want to be able to play this game, and then we'll move on from there. Now, once you've extracted it, you will see here that you have a couple of different folders and all these files here, and then this is the exe where you're going to run the game. There's no install for this. It's literally just extract the folder and you will be good to go. Now, again, one thing I did say is that if you have access to the original ROMs, you're going to want to put them in this folder right here where it says disk images. Now, once you run the game for the first time, what it's going to do is it's going to find those bin and Q files, and it's going to extract what it needs to put into this folder right here, and then it will launch the game. So let me show you what that looks like. And here it is extracting all of the necessary files, and then it will launch the game. And there you go. Now you're ready to play Wipeout Phantom Edition. You've already seen me play a little bit of this game, so I'm not going to dive in it any further than that. But I did want to show you how you can get on GitHub, how you can download it, how you can set it up, and how you can run and play it. Now, once it goes through that initial install where it extracts those files that it needs to be able to play the game, it won't do that again the next time you run this. So as soon as you hit the exe, you'll be in and ready to play. Alright, and that is the look at Wipeout Phantom Edition, an upgraded version of the original Wipeout that came out for PlayStation in 1995. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think of this upgraded version of Wipeout? Are you a fan of the original? I know I am. I love the original. I like the Omega Collection that's available on PlayStation now, and I think this is actually really cool and interesting that one fan has been able to put this together. And it just looks pretty wild. So look, if you can get access to this, if you have access to the original PlayStation ROMs, definitely go ahead and check that out. And leave me a comment below on your thoughts if you do get a chance to try this. But that's going to do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a great day.